What's happening, everyone? Welcome to G-Ball Vision. I hope you are doing awesome today. We are going to be answering the question of should you buy a Spyderco Para 3 or should you buy a Spyderco Paramilitary 2 to add to your collection? Now, the answer that I always give when I'm asked this question, and I get asked the question fairly often, should I get a Para 3? Should I get a Paramilitary 2? Which one should I get? And I always say you need at least one of them. Now, which one is going to depend fully on, do you like a little bit of a smaller knife, or do you prefer a little bit larger of a knife? Now, we're going to kind of go over these from tip to butt and explain why you definitely want at least one, if not both, of these in your collections, in your rotation, or as a primary pocket knife and you don't necessarily have a collection. Maybe you just want one knife that can do anything that you would need it to. And this these Spydercos are one of quite a few, one of many, but I think that if you're looking for a pocket knife that is going to come pristine, everything is going to be 100% good to go on the knife when you get it. The Spyderco line of knives are hard to beat. Now, is their customer service the best? No, it's not. But rarely do you need them. In my experience, I've bought in around 20 Spydercos. Not once did I have one come with a dull edge or one that needed customer service, period. Uh, Now, why do you buy a pocket knife? Why do you buy a knife, period? Well, you buy a knife to cut things because you need to cut things, right? Well, that's one thing that you can depend on Spyderco to give you is when you get that knife, it is going to have an extremely good edge. There's no question about it. Spydercos come with some of the absolute best edges in the knife game, period. I would say more than 95% of the time, you're going to get an edge that is just razor sharp, and it's not going to be burnt. It's not going to be uneven. Now, I'm sure there are ones that slip through the cracks and there might be an issue. That's just the name of the game when you're mass producing a bunch of knives. But for the majority of the time, I would say you are not going to have one issue from blade to handle with a Spyderco, especially when you're getting exclusives and sprint runs and things of that nature. Even their baseline, you're not going to have issue, but especially with the exclusives and sprint runs. Now, the ones I have here, I have a 20 CV. This is a Knife Joy exclusive. And then this is a CPM Crewwear, which is a Knife Center exclusive. This has the smooth G10, black G10. And then this has the typical G10, but it's colored the lime green. And I think it looks absolutely amazing. And I love the murdered outlook here with the smooth black G10 and that Crewwear blade. Crewwear is a phenomenal steel. So is 20 CV, especially when you're getting Spyderco's heat treat. That's the next thing. You want, when you buy a knife, to know that your steel that you're buying is going to be heat treated properly. And for somebody who doesn't know what that means, it means when the steel is done and finished, it is treated the way that it should be, hardened the way that it should be in order to hold its edge, stay corrosion resistant, keep its toughness, all them sort of things. Now, varying steels have varying levels of all three of those, but that's the idea. The better that the company sticks to the heat treatment protocol for each individual steel, all these steels have different protocols. Therefore, they need to be individualized when it comes to even crew air or 20 CV. They're both going to have different protocols, but Spyderco is going to be one of the very few companies that you can depend on to give you the proper heat treatment on the steel. No question about it. There's a long-standing proof that they do what they should, and that's one of the best things about Spyderco is they heat treat their steels the way they should be. They use a plethora of different steels. Uh, they've used everything at this point. They even have made their own steels. Uh, that's one thing I love about Spyderco. Now, next is the lock going to be dependable? Of course, when you're buying a locking knife, you want it to be dependable. Well, the compression lock has been proven time and time again that it is actually one of the absolute strongest locks on the market. It's right up there with a back lock, with the triad lock, the scorpion lock. It is up there, and it is one of the absolute best. It's basically a reversed liner lock. So instead of being in the front here, it is actually on the spine, and that's where you get the compression lock. Now, the majority of Spydercos come with the compression lock. The Smock has a button compression lock. The Mannix has a different system of lock, and then they also do back locks and liner locks, but the majority is going to be compression locks. They also do some frame locks too. They do a little bit of everything, but their main bread and butter is going to be the compression lock, and it's going to be dependable. So your steel, your edge, your lock, all going to be good to go. How is your opening methods? Well, with a Spyderco, you're going to get their trademarked hole, typically for deployment, and you can also use the compression lock to open it as well. You push in on it and just swing it out, similarly to a button lock. They once broken in, and some even come very well broken in. I think it just kind of depends. But once they are broken in, they are as smooth as something on as they would be on bearings, basically. Both of these still have breaking in to do, actually, but they are ultra smooth. They run on bronzed washers. Not that I can probably show you, but you might be able to see down in there the bronze washer. And once you get a path on those washers, they become like butter. Very smooth on the open and the close. They have incredible detents. Typically, some of the best fidgety knives that you can get. When I first got introduced to Spydercos, that's why I ended up with so many. I couldn't put them down. They were amazingly sharp, very comfortable, and they were also very fun to play with, which takes me into the next thing. So you have your edge, your steel, your opening methods, your lock. How about ergonomics? Some of the best ergonomics in the whole game. You have a 50-50 choil here. that you can choke right up behind the edge on. And you have this little guard here that kind of lets you know, hey, you're right there before the edge, but they jimp it very, very well. It's going to grab your finger to prevent you from going onto the edge. Absolutely a great design from Spyderco. And if you want or need some reach, you basically have a full grip without that finger choil here. And it is just absolutely amazingly comfortable. The ergos on these knives are just phenomenal. Even having bigger hands with the Para 3, I still can get a full grip on here, be comfortable. And if you include that 50/50 choil, I have tons of room back here, and it is just ultra comfortable. They even jimp the spine here, so you have a nice place to put your thumb. Gives you a ton of control over the knife. You can cut in almost any which way that you could possibly want to that makes sense. There's no way around it, and that's why they're so popular. As far as Spydercos go, they do everything right. Are they the most aesthetically pleasing knives? To some, yes, they are. To others, no, they're not. But one thing they are is functional. Uh, some of the best folding pocket knives in the whole world. That's why they're so famous. That's why there's so many variations of them. They do Tantos, Warncliffs. They come out in every steel possible at this point, and tons of different handle materials and colors, different textures. You name it, the Para 3 and the PM2 have it basically, or they've been done in it. Now, if you are wondering what is the actual size of these knives, so your PM2, even though it's a PM2, it's actually going to be bigger than your Para 3. So it's coming down around 8 1/4 overall to this tip here. And you're getting 3 1/16 of cutting edge, and then just shy of 3 1/2 for your total blade length. And for the Para 3, which, like I said, is going to be a little bit smaller, you're getting about 2 9/16 of cutting edge. You're just shy, you're about 2 7/8 total edge, and then 7 and just shy of 7 1/4 overall. So there you can see, there's quite a difference, almost a whole inch of difference there. Mainly, I would say it's mainly in the handle, but you do get some extra blade length with the Paramilitary 2. Now, which one would you get, or which one to get, is the question. And it's going to depend on, do you like a little bit of a smaller knife, or do you prefer a larger knife? Now, with me, I first bought the Para 3 before I ever bought a PM2. It was because I was able to find one that I liked and get it. It didn't really have anything to do with size. I knew that it was American made. I knew that it should be good. The steel was good. I knew all those things before buying it. And once I got it in hand, I realized I prefer typically a little bit of a bigger knife. And once I got this and realized how great it was, but yet they make a little bit bigger of a version, that's when I knew that I had to also go out and get me a Paramilitary 2. I would say together, these make an amazing primary and secondary carry. there's nothing that you couldn't handle with these knives right here. I mean, you could slice for days with this 20 CV blade, and then this Crewware steel is going to be ultra tough. It's like D2 on steroids, basically. Going to be very tough, and they put an awesome coating, so corrosion is not going to be an issue, even if you have like M4 or 3V knives that are a little bit more prone to corrosion. You can get them satin, but they typically will coat their blades, and the coating that they use holds up very well. I have beaten the piss out of some of the coated versions, like an S30V, and you would have a hard time getting through this coating. So that answers the question. Should you get one? Yes. The other question is which one? Either one of them is going to be great. It's fully going to depend on what size do you prefer. And if you don't know, I would go off, check your knife laws, make sure that you can have over a 3-inch blade. If you can't, that automatically puts you in the para 3 range because you are going to be shy of 3 inches overall. If you can have over 3-inch and you have a bigger hand, you're a male, you have a bigger hand, I would go with the Paramilitary too. Or if you can, get one and then get the other, and decide which one you like. You'll probably end up deciding to keep them both, and you'll probably end up with more, would be my guess. If you do not have a Spyderco and you end up with one of these, you're going to end up with another one anyway. They are absolutely some of the best folding pocket knives, period. So that answers the question I get asked a ton. Definitely go out, get yourself a Spyderco, get a Para 3, get a Paramilitary 2, find one that you like, and pick it up when you can. That is my 2 cents on the whole thing. That'll wrap it up, guys. If you're still here, thank you. If you're here and you are not subscribed, hit that subscribe button down below the video now. I'm saying it now, damn it. Hit that damn button. And give me a thumbs up. Leave me a damn comment. I will see you guys. Damn it. Peace.